Dad. You're so corny.
Hey. I want to welcome you guys to the first installment of the Corny Dads podcast, to where we highlight modern fatherhood and we show support and give support to other men and people in particular on our journeys as fathers, and hopefully we inspire theirs. We just some corny dads that do dope things for their dope kids. I'm CJ Snuggie Harris. The rest of my corny counterparts are here.
I'm Yogi Den. Namaste.
Yeah, and I'm Osner Charles.
And I'm Ace Boogie, but my kids call me Papa, so you know what I mean? Word up.
So fellas, let's start out by Oz, right? So you came to us. We have these conversations in our group chats and our everyday interactions, and you was like, "Yo, let's really do it." Mm-hmm. What made you? This is us informing the people. So what made you want to let's really do it? Let the people hear it.
Well, the truth is, my son been calling me corny for a long time. Right? My son swears up and down that I'm corny, but the truth is, I think I'm probably one of the coolest dudes on this planet, right?
I agree.
And I try to tell him this all the time, like, you have no idea who your daddy is, bro. I'm that dude. So because he's been calling me corny this whole entire time, like that, the name just kept ringing in my head, like corny dad, corny dad, corny dad, corny dad. And based off of some of the conversations that me and you fellas here, some of my other brothers we've been having, I just thought that it'd be dope to share some of our experiences with the world, right? This podcast is meant to not only, showcase, our great fathering skills, but it's also to educate, to mentor, right? We don't know how many other fathers out there that's going through some of the things that we've been through. We don't know who's dealing with the traumas that we are trying to heal and or that we have already healed from. Right. So this podcast is honestly, it's going to be one of the rawest, one of the realest podcasts when it comes to fatherhood that you can have, right? We're going to talk about everything from fatherhoods to relationships. We're going to get real deep, So
I more like a therapy session. Like this is our outlet, but to put in perspective to other people, like, yo, it's more people that might be going through similar things that we're going
Absolutely.
through. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Let's go, man.
So huge shout out to our executive producer, JC Boogie Oogie, Justice. You know what I'm saying? He's the person who came up with this idea, so this is all him. So shouts out to my 11-year-old son, Justice Michael Shabash Charles. You live,
MC,
baby.
The God MC, man.
That's work. We going
Still can't beat me in horse though, but
y'all ready to get into this corniness?
The series is 2-2 right now, just so y'all clear.
He gonna be like,
Oh, wow.
He'll be like, you
Them and horse.
Wow, you lying.
Yo, that's crazy. I would never.
11-year-old. Series is tied 2-2. How tall are you?
Man, 6'2". without my Tim's on. When I got my Tim's on, I'm like solid 6'4".
I just walked in here. I'm 6'2". You clearly 6'4", 6'5".
Nah, yo, listen. I told you I got the call the police sneakers on, so it's a platform, you know what I mean? I own a couple pair of them call the police sneakers, man.
We're not gonna say the name of the sneakers. We're not gonna talk about the brand right now.
They gotta cut us a check, man. It's the call the police sneakers, man. Word up.
That's work. Let's get into it, man. What we got going on?
So I'm gonna start with you then, since you're right here to my right.
Say less.
Tell us a little bit about you. I'm saying tell us like we don't know, but let everybody know about you. Like sort of like your journey, what you experienced growing up a little bit in regards to your father and your parenting style as a father. What makes you so corny, man?
Oh, what makes me so corny? I mean, I think, in Philadelphia, where I'm born and raised, obviously, right? In Philly, it was a lot of my friends didn't have father figures in the home. I was just lucky to have a father figure there and have that blueprint to see what it looks like to raise a child and to be there for a child. And I was very confused when I didn't see that my friends, very close friends, didn't have that father figure there. I didn't know what that was about. But had my father up until the age of 18. Such a blessing to have him. And my parenting style was like mimic his. He was very affectionate. I have 3 children. London 14, Dennis 7, and Dior 1. I know it's huge gaps in there. That's what makes me cornier than a lot of people out here. But I mimicked his style, and we'll get into that a little bit as we go deeper into the podcast. But just shout out to my dad and his the way of being affectionate to me, and then now I can do the same for my children.
Real talk right there, real talk.
Hey, since you're talking, baby, tell us a little bit about you and like your journey as a man, as a father. Tell us about like your fatherhood situation and how it affects you and your parenting style.
I mean, man, I guess like I could say like with me and Den, it's I guess similar but different. My father was around. He was present, but he wasn't present at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense to people.
It makes sense to me.
For me, what was important for me was the nuclear family. Me being from Brooklyn, USA, you know what I mean? Up the turnpike from you guys. Just growing up in Brooklyn, it's just like you saw so many diverse, dynamic family setups where you saw, 2-parent households, single-parent households. And for me being from the West Indian Caribbean background, our grandmothers were like super duper important. You know what I'm saying? They were the matriarchs of the family. They're the ones that really control all the plays that's going on. So I think that was super duper important. So, my mom was always working, grinding. So it was just, me, my younger sister, my older sister was in Haiti. She came over later on. But just a nuclear family, having older cousins, kind of showing me, the things to do and not to do. That allowed me to kind of develop, and I give them kudos for that all the time, man. It takes a village, and I definitely had a village, man. And that was important for me.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna jump into me. Like my dad was a vital piece of my life up until 13 when he passed, and like I never experienced a relationship like that, like until I had my sons. You know what I mean? So wait, my father was around for some time. Now I'm a father myself of 3 boys: Caden, KL, Kason. So even like my relationship with my father and my sons is like almost identical. And I think I appreciate it more now being a father because like I know what it feels like to be super connected to my dad. And I don't know, like me experiencing that loss, I don't know how much time I'm given. So I'm going to do what I can for them now. And that's really, and it's not even about materialistic stuff. It's more about the connection. What can you learn? Like I learned so much from my dad that didn't hit until after he was gone, years and years and years and years later. So just having that impact and that invisible influence after he's gone is playing a role in just how I father. And so it's not easy, but it's definitely necessary. Like, so when you say your dad was present, but he wasn't present, I was that for the first 5 years of my oldest son's life. And then for the last 3-4 years, I've been doing the work on myself so I can be extremely overly involved and overly present to where it caused me to go and do actual therapy, to go and dig deep and figure out how I can be a better person, so therefore I can be a better father. So it's a journey. It's definitely educating yourself on you, your history, and it doesn't stop with just providing. It doesn't stop with just protecting, but being a man. Most times we kind of tend and lean towards the nature side and not acknowledge the nurture side of being a parent. Sure. So I really want to focus, and I have been focusing on the nurturing side because life isn't easy as a man, but it's good to feel that nurture from somebody that looks like you, feels like you, talks like you. You know what I mean? Sure. So I just want to make sure they had that. So yeah, like that being present but not present, I was that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and only way I was able to heal from that was acknowledging it and recognizing it. And it came, it's crazy how it came about. My son, he gets like anxiety, like, you know, so you tell him to do something, he doesn't want to mess up.
Right.
So it's like, to a fault though, he messes up. Like, he's trying so hard not to mess up that he messes up. And then I hit a point like, yo, like, dog, boom. And then I got so emotional, I started crying. Like, I don't know why, is it me? So that's when my journey began. And like, just being able to nurture myself, forgive myself, and learn how to forgive other people helped me be a better father over the past 2 or 3 years.
That's real right there.
Yeah, so.
That's real right there.
Vulnerability straight from the door.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
We getting naked, baby.
Let's do it.
Pause that.
We just got straight naked.
We gotta talk about it.
I'm over here teary-eyed. I'm over here like, okay, all right, so I gotta go after this? I don't want to go after this.
Nah, I laid it on thick, but it's real. It's real.
No, but it's necessary because I think we're the definition of more hands lighten the load, and this is no different than a conversation that we would have had otherwise or elsewhere. So he talked about being present and not being present. I was that. It struck a chord, so it's a trigger for me. So and even when in my relationships, especially with like my kid's mom or my ex-wife, like that's one of the things, like, you wasn't there. It's like that, but I thought I was. But now it's like I see it. Like being overly present, I see that I wasn't present. And it's like, okay, it's like, how much longer do I have to hear this? Like, I'm already dealing with it. I dealt with it, but I want the world to see it. I want them to see it. So what my son's experience from me is not what other people experienced from me in previous years.
Talk, real talk.
It only gets better.
It gets better with
Listen,
time,
man,
baby.
we got the creative juices flowing, man.
Let's go. Let's work.
It's this Michael secret stuff in his water, man. I'm telling you.
Yo, you know what? Real quick, shouts out to Bravery Studio. Marv, we see you.
Bravery up.
Hey. Yeah, man. So where we at with it now, Snug?
We on you, right?
So
We
you
we
gotta
kinda
tell us
wanna
about
hear you trying to
your journey.
deflect.
Yeah, you see him?
Let's
He
take
gonna
that
talk about
political cap off real quick with the deflection. Nah, it's on you, man.
So remind me, man. What's the question, man? Because you done got me wrapped in your emotions right now.
See, but that's the thing is like it, and again, like if we were anywhere else, it'd be a normal conversation. But we're like what we came to see is that like what the world doesn't realize is that, especially like us, you and I, especially as cancers, like we're overly sensitive and we carry the emotions of other people. So I'm sitting over here trying not to tear up, but you feel just the words, and you over there like so, like yeah.
No, I know.
It got real.
Yeah, it got real because like why not?
Why not? This is what this platform was made for.
Yeah,
Right.
imagine having them on a three-way.
It was nah, but it was just talking about like your experience as a father, your father's presence, how it impacted your fatherhood style, and just your journey.
Yo, to be quite honest with you, my father, my experience with my dad is no different than Ace's experience with his father. You dig what I'm saying? I grew up when my dad was present, but my dad wasn't present. To be quite honest with you, I just used my dad as an ATM. Like anytime some new Jordans would come out, hey dad, this is what it is. This is what it is. I need that. And he'll be able to get it. Hey, I got this trip coming up. This is what I need. And he'll be able to show up. So my dad, monetarily, he was always there. He was always present. But as we all know now as fathers, it takes more than being a dad and just be there providing from a monetary perspective. So honestly, what I've taken from my father, from my experience with my dad, was that not only do you have to be there monetarily, but you got to be there emotionally, right? So for me, with my son, I'm there for everything. Like I don't miss nothing. The truth is that I don't miss any doctor's appointment. Like I miss nothing. Like the first doctor's appointment, I'm not even gonna count it as if I missed it, was the other day he went to go get 4 teeth extracted. Guess what? I was there on FaceTime. I had to go to a meeting, right? But I was there on FaceTime, like, hey, just put me on the FaceTime so I can see what's happening. So for me, I just think, when it comes to, I just know everything that I wanted from my dad, and I'm just doing my best to give my son everything that I've ever wanted from him. Bro, like hugs, kisses, don't miss basketball games, don't miss a track meet, take him to every track practice. You feel what I'm saying? Like, these are some of the things that, I remember being in the championship game. In junior high, all the kids was there. They got their parents in the stands. Everybody's there. Yay! My dad wasn't there. My mom couldn't make it. My mom had to work 2 jobs to take care of us. You dig what I'm saying?
Respect.
She had to work 2 jobs. My grandmother couldn't make it. My grandmother works at night, so she had to sleep during the day.
Respect.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And my dad, who, you know, was loved and adored by so many, right? Like he was that dude, like loved and adored by so many. Truth is, like, you know, just be raw and honest, I hated him. Hated that man. And I felt like every time my mama looked at me, she saw him. You feel what I'm saying?
Boss.
So it just created another sense of resentment. You dig me?
Right.
And what that leads to, right? It leads to, if you're a young man and you feel all of these things, you have all of these emotions, what do you turn to? You turn to whatever's gonna make you feel good, right?
Right.
Whether you turn to women, whether you turn to the streets, whether you turn to work, right? Whether you turn to your books if you're a child, right? These are the things that you turn to, right? But the truth is, right now, what we're dealing with, we have so many kids, right, that would prefer to turn to the negative than to turn to the positive, right? Like, I just thank God, right, that I had friends, I had a circle around me. My grandmama put me in church. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know what an SDA is, but I was raised as a Seventh-day Adventist. My grandmother put me in the church. That's where I met Ace. You feel what I'm saying? That's where I met some of my best friends. You dig what I'm saying? And I just think that you know, thankfully I had that outlet. But as you grow up, you start to find your own way, right? And that's when I met. And that's when I met, you know, some other people. You feel what I'm saying? And in meeting other people, you know, as a young man, you make some stupid mistakes. You make some terrible mistakes in your life. But I know for certain, right, the way that my life turned out and who I am today, I was destined to be here.
Right.
Nobody put me here.
Facts.
You dig what I'm saying? This was all God engineering. You feel what I'm saying? I went through everything that I went through in order to be here today and be a testimony not only to myself, but to my son and to others.
Right.
You dig me? So I say all of that to say, you know, my dad wasn't there, and I think that's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I probably would not have been the dad that I am today.
Mama.
That's a fact.
God
did.
God did.
So I wanna ask you a question. You said your grandmother put you in the SDA, and that's how you met Ace.
Yeah,
right?
Seventh-day Adventist Church, Jerusalem,
Shout out
SDA,
to J. Rue boys.
Brooklyn.
So
Shout out to Rita.
if it weren't for your grandmother, you wouldn't have had met one of your best friends, right?
Correct.
So
This is my brother right here.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's disposable. That's
friends
Right,
say a little
yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I want people to know. I want y'all to touch on your relationship, because we gonna make it all connect. I want people to know like how this truly came about. So, like your relationship, then.
So this is how it went down, right? And it's so funny because I got them on opposite sides, right? This is honestly the best version. When I met Ace, I was probably the best version of myself. I was probably the purest person that I could have possibly been, right? When I met Dennis, I was probably the worst version of myself that I could have possibly been.
He was young, but he was a little mischievous. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep him on the short chain, but he was still a little mischievous. So let's not do that.
So I met Ace through church. You know, my grandmother put me in Jerusalem SDA Church. I was singing in the choir, the whole nine, like reciting Bible verses in both English and French. So, and that's where I met Ace. And
You know all 66 books?
Nah, but you see, don't put me on the spot.
Word up.
Don't put me on the spot.
If he beside that, I'll be like, nah, you're different, bro.
Nah, but honestly, that's where I ended up meeting Ace, and met Ace. Ace, George, Jeffrey, Showtime, and a couple of other brothers there that I consider, brothers till this day. But the truth is, without my grandmother steering me, right, like that good grandma hand steering me, I would have never been there. But honestly, that's what set my foundation, which is why I was always able to find my way back home.
Right.
Grandma helped set that foundation, and more importantly, my grandmother passed away. February 28th, right? So I felt like,
Come on, man, you're gonna make me cry, bro.
nah, we ain't gonna cry. We ain't gonna cry.
good, man.
Talk
know,
about
This is
that-
a healing. This is a healing process as well, man.
You know,
we all gonna
Still
we
fresh.
Gonna,
You know-
we all gonna be there.
You know, February 28th, a lot happened, but I'll say that I lost my moral compass, but her spirit, everything that she embodied, like, she did the right thing by leaving so much. She instilled so much in me. You dig what I'm saying? Which is why anytime I waver or I start to wander, I'm able to find my way back home.
Right.
And I'll say that, you know, being in the church and meeting these brothers who I've met, like, I'm talking about 93, 94. These are still my
you put a
brothers
number.
today.
You dating this, man.
Yeah, listen.
I don't even know what
It's been a long run.
Listen. It's been a long run, and then I ended up moving to Philly. My mom purchased a home in Philly. Honestly, she thought that she was doing the best thing, moving me from Brooklyn, USA, to Philadelphia, PA. Which Philadelphia at the time was the murder capital, right? Let's just be clear. Brooklyn wasn't the murder capital. Philadelphia was the murder capital. And honestly, and that's when I, for the most part, started to go on my rebellious stage, right? Where, you know,
Don't call it rebellious. Exploration.
well, I'm gonna call it rebellious. I don't think Rico is really somebody. Rico for paid in full. I don't necessarily think that he's somebody anybody should look up to. But at the end of the day, you know, I ended up meeting Dennis at Abraham Lincoln High School in Philadelphia. And the truth is, this wasn't we just started off as friends, right? But we didn't start off as enemies. We just started off as, yo, you over there doing your thing, I'm over here doing my thing. How did?
Yo,
I'm gonna let him tell the story.
You was in Philadelphia, but you was from New York. So, you know, you coming in with the bandanas and the rings and all that, and the chains. And I'm like, yo, this dude is like, he rubbing me the wrong way. And the accent, and this is all the things that you don't understand. You just don't understand.
So what he's trying to say is he loved my style.
So
He loved my style.
So he was Dipset to the fullest.
He was super Dipset, Joel Santana and all of them. And I'm like, yo, this ain't it. And we was literally on two different opportunities. The people that he actually ran with, I really didn't. I ain't like them too much, right? They just did a lot, right? I thought they were fake. I thought they were somebody that they didn't pose. They was posing as somebody else that they weren't. And but then again, that's not up to my judgment, right? But at the end of the day, when you in school and you got cliques and all that stuff like that, you young, you do that. And I ran with one person, and somehow our teams ended up getting into some trouble, and my young boy had some trouble with his homie, and his homie was like, yo, I got a young boy too, and they start rumbling in the hallway. I mean, they going toe for toe. I don't think they moved one bit. And after that, after the fight, I was like, I got much more respect for this man because of his courage and because he stood his own. And I thought it was gonna be easy. I'm like, my man going easy. It's gonna be easy, John. But then I started to pay attention to him and started to see he was nothing like the other dudes. He was, and at that time, like, these are guys that he was looking up to. And I was like, nah, it's the other way around, to be honest. And then as soon as we make that separation is when we'll start to see who he really is. And he just started dating one of my homegirls. And then we became super tight.
Shouts out to Meek. I'm not gonna say your real name because I know you Saw Lakem and all that. You garbed up now.
But I had to learn. I had to learn about him. That's what it really came down to. I had to learn who he is in his heart. And once I studied, observed, and learned, then I grew to love him. And that's how we became homies.
I'd like to jump in right here since, I'm going to come to Den's defense. And we had this conversation not too long ago, and I said, yo, Den, I appreciate you, and I'm going to give you your flowers because I think you potentially saved this young man's life. You know what I mean? And I always say to Den, I say, yo, Den, you the Philly version of me. You know what I mean? Because he needed you down there. When I first met Den, he's like, yo, man, I'm about to come up with my man Dan from Philly. Cool. So, he's emphatic about everything. He'll be like, yo, this bottle of water is amazing, man. Yo, we
can start selling this.
And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, come on up. Dan come, he's observing. He's like, yo, I'm not on home court territory right now, so I'm gonna move smooth. And I don't listen. I'm West Indian, Caribbean. I don't have people in my house. If I don't know where you live, you don't know where I live. But I said, on the onus of C, I'm a thing. Dan came in, good energy. And this is before he was Den.
Before he was known as
before he was, you know what I mean?
Yogi Dan.
Yogi Dan. Came in.
Yo, we probably got some crazy stories about before Yogi Dan, man.
Oh, no. He done changed a lot, you know what I mean? But he came in, humble, good-spirited, you know what I mean? Always smiling. And I was like, when they was on their way back to Philly, I was like, all right, I know you in good hands, man. I know you're going to be all right. Even though I heard some of the war stories, I'm like, you're going to be all right. You got good people with you know what I mean? So that was me and Den's first meeting. And then, honestly enough, today, for those who don't know, is me and the first time Snug
are actually meeting face to face,
man. Right. And, you got a good vibe too, you know what I mean? Maybe it's the beard, you know what I'm saying? Grazing the beard, that's the connection. But we the villains. We gonna let y'all know moving forward. Me and Snug, we the villains. That's why we on the opposite sides. You know what I mean? You already know, man. Just say left side, right side, we the villains.
They wouldn't have known that from Snug's first response to the question.
But even in that though, like.
His name's Snug, by the way.
Yeah.
Snug.
Come on, that's the Snuggie.
Right, so look, his name's Snug.
Let's call a spade, right?
Yeah.
I'm the. You always gotta have a super villain and a good guy, a hero, right?
Right.
I'm both. So Snug is the one that comes and saves you.
Two-Face.
SNUG, right?
Yeah.
You spell it backwards, it's gun. So which one you want? You feel me? So
Bars.
I'm seeing a lot of guns in my I'm seeing a lot of guns in my
But nah, like so I'm gonna let so this is our first time meeting face to face, but it's not our first time talking. Like we a lot similar, man.
Yeah.
From our interactions. But then we're gonna keep going, right? So we talked about Ease, how he met Ace, and then how he met you, and he connected the dots, right? So now we was just talking about this yesterday. Tell the story, cause I'm gonna connect the dots between.
Yes.
So,
oh God.
So you gotta tell them how we met.
How you and I met?
How we met. Yeah.
Again, I have friends, I have core friends, right? And any outside friends, I'm really not willing. I wasn't really open at that time, right? So
wait, he not like you, Ace.
You wasn't accepting applications.
No. He like you. If you don't know where I live, now who is this dude you bringing? You gotta have
Just so
somebody
we
to vouch for
clear,
you.
none of us accepted applications.
Nah.
I did. Yo, he was you. Come on, bring.
But everything happens for a reason, and we'll talk about how Mike actually saved my life literally. But we'll go forward, right? So I'm going my first day up Kutztown University. I'm with my homies. I'm with Aunt Fudge, my homie. I'm getting my governments out, and Tyree. Now these are my guys from the hood. They was like, yo, listen. It was like when we go up there, is this guy we met, his name's Snug. I was like, I'm not interested.
Hold on. Before you even get to that, right? Because you talked about going to college, right?
Right.
And a lot of people from where we come from don't go to college. Right.
That's a
right.
fact.
That's not a first option.
That's
For you,
right.
It was a first option. Can we
option.
talk about why you decided to go to Kutztown University?
Absolutely. Went to Kutztown University because my father went to Kutztown University.
Right, perfect.
He went, I went. And we'll get to, I'll talk about my father a little bit more because everything he did, I did. And after he passed, it was a tough time for us and our entire family. But absolutely, I went there because he did. Wherever he did, whatever he went, I went. Wherever he told me to do, I did. So Kutztown University was a no-brainer. Even took up the same major, public administrations. So on my way up there, we on a ride up there. It's like, yo, it's this guy named Snug. I said, I'm definitely not interested in that name. For a guy to be named Snug, Snuggie Bear. And y'all shouldn't even be calling him that. And they was like, no, listen, he a cool dude. I said, where you from? They said, West. I said, not interested. Not interested in West Philly Snug at all. Do y'all even know the story why they call him Snug? No. All right. So anyway, so I'm bad vibes. They was like, listen, man, this guy's dope, man, and all he does is play basketball. I said, okay, I like basketball. They was like, and all he does, get this, on the basketball court is dunk the ball. Oh, he don't shoot, he don't dribble. I said, how he don't dribble or don't shoot? He just dunk. Is he always under the court? He's like, wherever he at, he take off and just dunk. I said, that's wild. All right, so we get I get the Dietrich Hall, and from Dietrich Hall you can see the basketball court. And he was like, check this. Then he's actually right there. Snug had to be about 5'3", 5'4", and I was like, there's no man. And he's
I was
skinny.
clearly like 5'10".
Clearly a midget, and he was really skinny, and I was like,
Shouts out to the little people. We love you.
straight up. And I was like, there's no way this dude is getting up there. They was like, watch him. So the interaction, when I watched him out the window, he came down, they passed him the ball, and my man went straight up and dunked. I said, yo, I like this guy. Is he gonna come down and do it again? He said he doesn't do anything else but dunk. He dunked at least 5 straight joints. And I said, I can rock with this kid. I like him. But that was my first interaction without even being in his presence with Snug.
That's why he blew that layup yesterday, because you thought he was going to try to dunk it, and you blew the layup.
Nah, you seen the dunk though.
Ankle
I seen the dunk.
Yeah.
I seen the dunk. I ain't gonna front. I saw the dunk. I was like,
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Snug can still get up.
That makes sense.
Shout out to our engineer Marv,
Word up,
man.
Bravery up.
So look, that same, like, I'm outside. I'll never forget this. I had on red basketball shorts. This is for the record, for people that's listening. My memory is like crazy.
I got good memory too.
It's
See?
crazy.
We the bad guys.
So I had on red basketball shorts, a wife beater, and a headband. Right? It was 2004.
It was a used headband.
What time was it, Snug?
Oh, here you go.
What time was it?
So look, I see Aunt Tyree. They walk up to the basketball court, and then he real long, his arms long. He's standing there. He got these. He got his straight backs. He had straight back braids. And I come to the side. They like Aunt like, yo Snug, come here Snug, come here real quick. That's how he talk. So I'm like, what's up, y'all? He's like, yo man, it's my man Dennis. And then I stuck my hand out. What's up, man? I'm Snug. He was like, yeah, D-Block. But look, he stuck his hand out like, man, D-Block. But he had a black and mild.
He showed up did have a black and mild
Plastic
with the flavor tip.
Oh man, it's taking you back.
Look, I could tell like he didn't want to be my friend, but it was based like, all right, these my guys, you cool with my guys, like, what's up, man, D-Block? You smoking black and mild just like it was a cigarette. So I'm like, what's up?
and yo, check this. I smoke black and mild because I watched my dad smoke a black and mild. That's crazy. No, it's real. Like it's all connected.
But yeah, like that was our first interaction. What really changed because it wasn't even we didn't click at first. It was just like, yo, like it's like me being friends with y'all too, and y'all bring him. It's like, oh yeah, we all around each other. So to the naked eye, people that don't know us, like we all together all the time. But I ain't know then. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until maybe the following weekend, Big Den came up. Big Den came up. They had the Mitsubishi
Montero Sport.
Montero Sport.
I never forget that car.
Yo, I love that car to this day.
You know, I think I'm gonna buy one.
Yo.
I think I'm gonna buy one.
Just cause for the culture.
Shout out
For the culture.
So we was outside of Dietrich Hall. It was a parking lot, and then went inside to do something, and me and Big Den had a conversation, and it was like, yo, it's no way that this kid can be how I perceive him to be
With this dad.
with that dad.
Facts.
So immediately, like, bruh, it was when I say that, he spoke to my soul. Like, he saw stuff in me that I didn't see at the time. So if he saw that, sorry to beat on the table, but if he saw that and he was like, yo, you gonna be all right, just protect my son. You know what I mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. He ran it down to me, like, you a good dude. I see it. He said, I'm leaving my son in good hands. Like, you got him. And as long as you got him, I got you. That, it was like the most genuine interaction. And it was like, so when we talk about like my issues and the trauma that I endured. So I lost my dad early, right? And then I had a mentor that came in my life. I got into some trouble. Like these are abandonment issues or traumatic abandonment, right? To where you have this person that you have this interaction with and you feel like, yo, he's not going to leave me. Now, the reality is that he passed, but he didn't pass. He didn't leave me because I got Den. You feel me? So his impact as a father still lives through Den. You know what I mean? Like, so the things that we do, the things that Den say, and just that we all have our moments where we like, man, I need to call it Den, man. You know what I'm saying? So these are important interactions where his father has such an impact on him that he impacts other grown men, his peers, the kids, and these are very important into the healing process of what the world needs. Like it's necessary.
That's a fact.
So I know for a fact in that small interaction, and even during like the treatment and stuff, right? It was like I gotta be there for Den. I told him I had him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I gotta be there for Den. So everything that Den needed, I never. It's gonna sound crazy. We experienced some stuff that, for the sake of me, I got like a protective instinct with people I love.
Me too.
And that's where the supervillain come out. Like, yo, what you want to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of that is, you know, the black rules of engagement for men is completely different.
Completely
like
different.
So it's aggression. But when it comes to people I love, I would rather take the hit than allow them to get into something like, and he hated me for it. Like we had situations where it was like, yo man, why y'all call Snug? You talking everybody down. This ain't fun no more. You know what I mean? But it wasn't my natural response. My natural response is, all right, well, let's
What you want to do?
Like this is what we doing. Boom.
Right.
But it was like, nah, I made a promise. Right? So and it was important for me to do that and be that for my peers and people I was around because I needed them to be that for me. So even with like, so he experienced loss. The Fudges experienced loss. So it was like, how can I be there for them and still be what they need from me and be who they know I am? You know what I'm saying? So Den's impact on me and Den's impact on Den still lives to this day, to where I know for a fact that you experienced firsthand as well. You know what I mean? So you know you can relate and elaborate on what I'm talking about in regards to the experience with Big Den.
Absolutely.
And for the record, I call Dennis's dad Big Den, he Lil Den, and Dennis Little Den is his son.
There we go. I think that cleared that up. It definitely is crystal clear. Before, I mean, I know you. Before C asked that question, answers your question. I want you to tell the story that you told me about Big Den. And about the time that you and them went into the liquor store.
We gonna save that for another episode. Because there's a lot.
There's a lot more attention.
There's a lot more to that.
We're gonna save that for another one.
How did we meet, Snug?
So look. So it's my. So it's spring semester, right? The spring semester of his freshman year. So then, like, yo, he tell Aunt and them, I'm in the room. He tell Aunt and them, we back Golden Bear South, and he tell Aunt and them like, yo, man, my man E's coming up. Easy money coming up. Easy money coming up. So you know he hype, right? So Aunt like, So Aunt like, all right, yeah, cool. What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because you know that he talk like he cool, man. Like I don't know, man. He too cool. He's like, what we gonna do? We gotta get rich. We gonna cut to the party, right? So E's come up. It's a Friday. So we go outside in Golden Bear. Ease pull up. He got the what is it? LS 300 on spinners.
Nah. I went on spinners. I never did a 300.
A 400?
450.
Oh, keep the change. Yo, he did spin. Yo,
they had spinners.
They had spinners. They had spinners on it, bro.
Then when I stopped, the rims keep spinning.
Yeah,
They kept spinning.
They kept spinning, and he had the low profile tires on that.
On the Pirelli tires.
Yeah, they low profile, so the rim looked extra big. That joint looked like that spin like he was doing 40. When you stop, man. They wasn't the knockoff spinners either. They was like the real like spinners, the Latrell Sprewell Jones.
Gotcha.
So big blade. So he get out on some like Dipset. Like he said, it was like dang, and he was like, "What's up, B?"
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds
Like,
about
what's up,
right.
B?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say what he said, but I was like, oh, this my guy right here. You know what I'm saying? Because my son's right here. His son right here. I ain't gonna say what he said, but I'm like, this is my guy right
I was
here.
ready for a good time.
You was definitely on a mission
For a good time. We was all gonna have a good time. That
Sounds
night.
about right.
Everybody's gonna have a good time. I ain't drive all the way up here not to have a good time.
So look, even after that, me and E, we stayed in touch, man. He was always accessible to me through our first interaction with Den, man. Like when he got out on them spinners, and I kind of ridded myself of the negative. I guess the what is it? Assumption, perception of him, because he came out like, "What up, B?" You know what I'm saying? But when he said what he said, it was like, "Oh, okay."
It's my guy, right? We
have
similar interests.
Yeah, really. Like, get money. So, but yeah, like that was our first interaction, man, and we've been tight ever since, man. And our interaction always remained the same. Like, so even, like, so it's crazy that when I grew, it was like when I talked to you, it was like, yo, man, you kind of grew with me. Absolutely. So now that we on this journey together, man, I like. It was necessary back then. Like, 04 wasn't a coincidence. No such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. Mm-hmm. And even Ace, even you being here right now is confirmation for me. Like, moving forward, for sure.
Nah, for sure, man. You know, I think we're building something. We're going to build something special here. And like I said, I feel like this is more than a podcast. This is a service that we're providing to, brothers that look like us.
Right.
There's a lot of us out here that are, still sticking to the code, like, not showing any vulnerability and kind of like, yo, it's all good, it doesn't matter. Because I know I was like that at one point, like, it's all good, it doesn't matter, it's not, I'll be all right. And over the years, I've seen where having the void of not having like a true father figure in my life has kind of hindered my growth, but hasn't stopped it, but hindered it for the most part. You know what I mean?
So you gotta tell about the interactions that were like made you gravitate towards Big Den, because of everybody at the table. He had the father, and then his father had an impact of like on our lives, because his interaction or his impact on you affects Ace, right? His interaction with me, and then it still lives on. So Ace, you might not have met him, but you met him, I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Ace met him. You just didn't know he met him. You know what I'm saying? He met him through me. There's certain conversations me and Ace had. They derive directly from the spirit that Big Den embodied. You feel what I'm saying? So he met him.
Sure.
My son met him. These kids that we mentor, they met him.
Right.
Like, you dig what I'm saying? It's a message that just keeps going on and on and on and on. So for me, one of the biggest things when it comes to Den, and I'm just going to touch on it a little bit, is legacy. He taught me what it means to leave behind a legacy. There was at one particular point in my life, right, where I ultimately thought that monetary gain was the most important thing in life, right? Was to have monetary gain. This is how you do it. This is how you do it, right? This is what you live for. This is what you pass down to your family. Yeah, it's some of that, right? But then it's about the legacy that you leave behind while obtaining monetary gain, right? Or let's just take monetary gain out of the game completely. What legacy are you leaving? What are people going to remember you for? What are people going to remember you as, right?
Right.
And for me, for us, right? Corny Dads is that. So there's gonna be some cat in Thailand listening to the show. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
Who's gonna understand what we're saying? Somebody in London, somebody in Germany, somebody in Philly, somebody back in Brooklyn, from the same place that we come from, that's gonna listen to this podcast and feel what we're saying. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the crazy part about it is the two of you guys lost your dads. Both of our dads are living and breathing right now. And I will say this, my dad, Osner Sr., because I'm Osner Jr., right?
OJ.
Without the Bronco. Without the Bronco.
They did come out with a new joint. You probably do that one stash.
Double up.
Corny Dad OJC. Follow me on what's my new joint? TikTok.
Don't follow that man.
He been talking about this. He been talking about TikTok for so long. He's like, yo,
Every new follower, he wildin'. Every new follower he gets.
Listen, everybody who follows me on TikTok, thank you. I appreciate it. You know why? Because my son didn't believe I could pop on TikTok.
but God did.
But God did.
God did.
But you know, just to wrap everything off, it's going back to, you know, what we're doing right now. You feel what I'm saying? This is in the essence. This is in the spirit of Den. Like I was saying, both of you guys don't have your fathers. My father's still present. His father's still present. And you dig what I'm saying? It's been 5 years. Then me and my dad, we've been working on our relationship. To keep it real with you, I talk to homeboy every day. My dad calls me every day. The other day, I sent him some pictures. I was like, you know how to open up the... He's like, hey, I want an iPhone. I'm like, you don't know how to use an iPhone. You want an iPhone, so I got him an iPhone. So the other day, your brother was able to come to this award ceremony, to this gala, where I won this award, and he was like, hey, send me some pictures. I'm like, you're not gonna know how to open it. So I sent it to him anyway. His wife helped him out, and they were able to open the pictures. But what I'm saying is, you know, we still have the luxury of reconciling. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever issues, whatever differences, right? And we still have an opportunity to build on our relationship, right? Some of us we're building from a negative, from a negative, like, you know, from negative 10. Some of us we're building from 0, and some of us we're building from 5. But to me, one of the things that, you know, being a father that I know now is it's important, bro.
Right.
Yo,
I think fathers have an invisible influence.
Speaking of fathers, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. And shouts out to Jim Jones. Jimmy, if you listening, I know you listening, Jimmy, because you a good dad, man. I want to give you your flowers just in case nobody else does. Father's Day, listen, I go into Rite Aid, CVS, any of these stores, there's cards still there, right?
Man.
Listen, I'm going to stop there.
Nah, talk about it.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day. Listen, we want those petties, manis, back rubs. We want all of it. All of it, man. Fathers out here putting in work. We deserve our flowers. Don't give us no tools. Don't give us no barbecue grill.
Why not?
Nah, man.
Because that serves them. Give me something for me. Give me something for me.
I had a commercial like, nah, man.
And I'm not saying this. This ain't from us. God said it.
God said it.
God said it, not me.
Yo.
And the lobby boy said it. If the lobby boy said it, then you gotta listen, man.
Hey, yo, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you guys for tuning in for our installment episode of Corny Dads. Yo, that's a wrap. Stay corny.
Stay corny.
Corny.
Me so corny.